Hello everyone, this is Jason from English Out There. Now, this is video 5 in the series for ELTV, and number 1 was ESL doesn't work, and we've shown that it doesn't because we've gone through some research and it's pretty unequivocal that teaching ESL or trying to learn ESL in conventional ways doesn't help you speak. And we've gone through the reasons why it's difficult to speak English, that anxiety interferes with it, and we've talked about how when you teach people, the way that ESL works is to teach them to read and write English first before they speak it, and we've shown in another video that that interferes with the process of speaking, and we've also shown that a lot of researchers and academics believe, and we've shown evidence for, that there's damage created in the minds of English learners who try to learn to read and write and then try to speak. So the damage is that they can't make the connections and get the patterns going, and the combination of the lack of pattern recognition, the insufficient amount of information and data that they get in terms that's comprehensible, and also the anxiety level that they experience, just the fear of speaking and trying to put sentences together, means that it's really difficult for them. Okay, so the last video was about saying that English and language is about data and putting the right data into your head, using it in the right way and enabling yourself to use data when it comes out. So, quick recap. Try and keep this short. Remember we said there's a virtuous circle of data here. So input, speak, and conversation goes back round, and if you can get that at the right level, that's ideal. So, data in. When you put data in to your head, what you want is you want it at the right level, and you want to put it in so that you can speak it. Okay, so it shouldn't be too difficult. It should be just at your speaking level, not at your reading and writing level. And it's quite difficult to do this, but I've got a lot of experience over the years of getting this just right. And what you need is you need to be prepared to speak. So you need to do some work before you prepare to speak to someone. Okay, so it's basically putting the data into your head. Once you've got materials that you can work with, that provide you with ammunition, information, language information that is at the right level for you to understand and feel confident that you can use it in a conversation, then you need to find some English speakers, fluent or native English speakers, and use that language with them. Okay, so this is your data out. First sort of part of the second part of the circle is the data out, which is speaking. Okay, and so what you need to do is use the information that you've just studied, and you can do that face to face, or on Skype or on G+, okay, and use social media, Facebook, to meet some people who are English speakers. And then what you do is you speak using the information, the language that you just studied, and it's at the right level for you to understand what you're saying and understand most of what comes back from the person you're talking to. Okay, but what you have to do is do this over a sustained period of time. So this is at Krashen's sort of I+1 down here, and it's the same thing pretty much as Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. Okay, so it's just at the right level so that most of it is understandable, and you're speaking language you've prepared for, you understand what's coming back, and then you do it for a sustained period of time. But crucially, when we talked about the amount of data that you want to put into your head that is at the right level, you should record your practice conversations. Okay? And you can do that with an MP3 recorder for Skype and various screen capture recording devices for Google Plus Hangouts and MSN and all kinds of stuff like that. So you capture it, you record it, and you're recording yourself, which is your personal data. So you're creating the data from the information in the language materials, the course materials, and then you're putting it out. You're getting feedback from a native speaker or a fluent speaker at just the right level, with a few things you don't quite understand, but you're understanding most of it. And then what you do, you record it and you listen again. That's you. Okay, so you use your iPod or your PC or your Mac and you listen to your recordings, which are I+1, because you're doing it at the level that the materials were set at, which is about your speaking level and a bit higher. And it's very, very personalized. So when you listen to yourself speak, naturally, without thinking, your brain is much more interested. Okay? So you're basically creating your own personalized, optimal source of language learning data that is really interesting to your brain, and you're hearing gentle correction from the fluent and native speakers that you practice the language with, and you're listening to your pronunciation and the mistakes that you made and hearing them correct you gently and say the words correctly. When you do lots of this, that's when your brain naturally starts to pick up the patterns of fluent conversation, of easy conversation, and becomes comfortable, and your anxiety level will drop, and you will start to speak more fluently and incorporate lots of language that you've been studying for years when you've been learning to read and write but haven't been able to speak. So it's like letting a dam burst. Boom. And you can listen to Jane, the Chinese student, and Valdek, the Polish student, who I've done case studies with and recorded everything on my podcast, and listen to how dramatic the change is when you work in this way. Okay? And it's difficult to get the right level of language, of input, of data going in, but there is a way to do that, and that's what I've been working on for the last 11 years, and created books that teachers can use in class, or you can use self-study with exercises that are just at the right level and always lead up to a conversation. And you can print files off and follow lesson plans that are easy to follow, that give you all the instructions on how to get into these really effective conversations that will improve your speaking, guaranteed, very, very quickly. Okay? Nice to talk to you. Bye-bye.